Hey everyone, welcome back to another great episode of More Than Before. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Willow.
And we are the Cooks. We've done that at one point. It's so cheesy and stupid.
I know, but I can't help laugh after every single time.
I think we practiced it like 100 times to get it saying it like the exact same time. And now that we know how to do it, it seems so corny and so horrible. Like I almost cringe every single time.
I know.
Oh, man. Well, we're super excited to spend some time with you guys over the next 30 minutes. Yes, we're going to keep this to 30 minutes. That's the goal, at least. Willow is very long-winded if you've listened to any of the other episodes. Can't get her to stop talking.
I know. I just love to hear myself talk so much. Remember?
Yeah, from the last episode. Oh, man. But before we jump into it, first of all, we want to remind you of two things that we always want to do on the show. We want to encourage you guys in your marriage, wherever you are. We want to encourage you to live a marriage that is more than before. Every single day, striving to grow together. And the best way that you can do that is just through encouragement. So as we encourage you, we hope that you guys are able to encourage one another. What's the second thing we like to talk about on our podcast?
Just being transparent and sharing things about our life and living a transparent life with each other and for you guys.
Not with other people. with each other. Yeah, it's so true. And I think that living together with one another, like you and me, Willow, but also living with you guys too. Some of you guys we know who are listening to the podcast, we want to live life with you guys. Oh my gosh, Willow, why didn't you tell me my hair was messed up? I look like, the 70s. What was that? Was it Blank Check? Do you remember that?
Oh, I loved that movie.
That was one of my favorite movies, but he always had like his hair like slicked to the side. I always thought I could do that. And I look back, man, I look so horrible. Do you guys ever have that, by the way, with your spouse? Like you go out and like halfway through the day, like you look in the mirror and there's like salad in your teeth.
I tell you when there's food in your teeth.
No.
Well, sometimes I don't even notice.
Sometimes is very rare.
No, I rarely ever even notice. Probably
because I'm so notice
like,
that I have
well, when I'm like looking up and like, oh yeah, you do have something in your teeth.
It's because she's so short. That was a short joke.
Yeah.
I guess it's technically a tall joke because it was against me.
But it was making fun of me being short.
Whatever. Let's move on. So, quick lowdown. What's been going on in our world? Something big happened yesterday.
Grandpa Scott came to visit us. He's here with us right now. He's not living with us right now. He's got a little Airbnb down the road, but it's kind of cool. We haven't seen him in 2 years. It's cool to see the kids just get to hang out with him and play with him. I mean, they did great today. Just Malachi stayed home sick, and so he got to spend time with Grandpa Scott when I went to work, and you took the kids to co-op, and so they got to spend some time together. And
they got suspended. No.
They got to spend time together, and it was cute reading books and.
I just think it's so funny because your dad like has worked with kids forever.
Yeah.
But usually they're older kids, so the small ones, I think he's afraid he's going to break them.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, he's a really good 2-year-old.
Well, when you give your 2-year-olds and your 4-year-olds and your 5-year-olds and however old you have consequences, they tend to do the right thing after a while.
Sometimes until it's bedtime, and then like tonight when he decided to run back and forth in his crib when it was bedtime. So.
Yeah, there was that, and then Riley kept coming down. It goes back and forth. Yeah. Well, and it was funny too because as we were kind of sitting down and talking, we were reflecting a little bit on the day, and one of the really cool things, Willow was like, "Oh, what was that thing that happened with Rylan?"
Yes.
Yeah, so we were at Costco and we just started singing. Like we were just kind of singing as we're going down, and it's like, oh, I think one of the songs was like, "Do you want a banana? Should we get one or two? I really don't think we should have this much. It's gonna go to your gut." Yeah, that much is true. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So yeah, hopefully Disney doesn't shut down these podcasts because we're using a likeness within the song. I can't sing anyway, so hopefully it doesn't matter.
Oh, but Rylan will tell you if you can't sing.
That's true.
She doesn't tell you that, just me.
Kids are great telling the truth. But the whole point was at one point, I was trying to sing a song because Rylan's been singing this song lately. And I had never heard it growing up. Had you ever heard it before?
Oh, well, she had sung it to me before.
But not as a kid.
No, not as a kid.
Yeah, so I don't even know where she learned the song. It was either a church or co-op or something like that. So I was like, I'm upright all the time. And she's like, Dad, you need to learn the words. And so she taught me the words to the song as we're going through Costco, which was really awesome. So and then she was doing the hand motions too. So she's like, I'm upright, in right, out right, down right, happy all the time. I'm upright, down, upright, in right, out right, down right, happy all the time with Jesus in my heart. I never will depart. I'm upright, in right, out right, down right, happy all the time, and then it just keeps going on. Keeps
going faster.
But so she's teaching me. She's teaching me the song in Costco, which is really great.
I love that. That was the best.
Yeah. So it was funny because she was just blaring it out, and everyone in Costco is just like looking at us as we're singing the song of having Jesus in our heart. But it's been fun. Life has been crazy and busy. We've talked about seasons a number of times. We are in a season. We're always in a season. So you might hear us refer to that a lot of time. But today we have a really awesome topic, and we hope that it meets you where you are at. What are we talking about?
We're just talking about being better together.
Better together.
Things that,
No, I was just saying better together. Things are always better together.
Things are always better together.
Except for ice cream.
No.
Well,
oh yeah,
I don't want to share.
Exactly.
I guess that's as soon as it came out, I was like, well, technically, I think it's better to have ice cream together, but I still want my own bowl and like pint of ice cream. So the reason we kind of were thinking about this is in the stage of life that we're in, where it's so chaotic, it's so crazy. Willow's working, I'm working. We have the kids, we have co-op, we have soccer, we have gymnastics, we've got grandpa visiting right now. We got stuff going on with my folks, stuff going on with your mom. Like things are insane in our world, as you guys know. We've talked about this before, and it's so easy to stop doing things together, to split things up, to, shall we say, get more done.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a really intriguing thing, but can we just encourage you guys and say that it's better to do things together, especially in the busy seasons, because the less you do together, the more you grow apart.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's one of the big things that we always hear from other couples that they do?
So, well, I want to talk about 10 things.
Okay, 10. Oh, she's got a list. She's got a list.
We're going to go through just a few things. But the one
10
thing
things.
I want to start with is like bedtime, because we're going to be going to bed pretty soon, and bedtime was on my mind. So going to bed together is just huge. I think as a married couple, I just thought like, oh yeah, you go to bed together. But then as like when we were first married, I heard people, sometimes you don't go to bed together because your schedules are opposite, or you're working late,
or I have to get up early in the morning, so I'm going to go to sleep early. Or right now, what's the big thing right now that you spend so much time in the evenings on?
Oh yeah, or you're doing sourdough.
Sourdough. By the way, don't do it. Run away. Run away. It's a gateway drug. I'm just waiting for you to come home with a bunch of chickens, and we're going to have to figure out where the chickens go.
I want chickens.
No,
for sure.
We're not doing chickens.
But I mean, even just not having the schedule conflict. Just some couples that just
they choose not to go to
bed together, or even sleep in the same bed based on like the housing situation or whatever.
And by the way, we haven't been great at this our entire marriage.
Yeah.
In fact, I would stay up late and I'd be playing video games. Like I come and I'd be, on my computer playing a video game, and you're like, I got to wake up early. I'm going to go to bed. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny because I thought we were fine. I thought it was okay. And I feel like there was a little bit of irritation with you.
Well, I think it goes back to the irritation of like, oh yeah, it's fine because I get to go to bed. But then also you want to, go to bed and snuggle and wake up together, or you went to bed later, so I'm going to get up earlier most likely. And then it's like, oh, you're going to sleep in. Are you going to get up?
But it came to mind because I was just thinking, oh, it's so nice that we can go to bed together.
Yeah.
And we choose to go to bed together.
It's huge. And honestly, this is one of the biggest things that I see with married couples that don't go to bed at the same time. I feel like that's a huge door that you're opening up because especially for guys, I mean, women, it might be something for that too, but I mean, let's just make it a blanket statement for all human beings in the darkness. When you're in the dark and it's late at night, that's when you tend to get into things you shouldn't. That's when you start to have a drink or you start browsing at things online that you shouldn't be doing, or maybe you even start buying things online because you're like, that would be a great idea. I'm going to buy that. And so it's really important to guard your marriage by going to bed at the same time. And if you don't do that, all of a sudden you're going to start seeing yourself on different pages. And that's one of the things I think that we found that in our marriage, that when we weren't going to bed at the exact same time, there was a separation between us. It was funny because when you were talking, you said cuddling, and I was like, that's such a funny word.
I know.
I was like, did you really just say cuddling? So number one thing number one on the list of being better together is go to bed together. Second thing that we should do is we should wake up together. I know some of you are thinking, I don't like this, Nathan. Go to bed together, wake up together. I like to sleep in. I need my 8 hours. I need my 15 hours to sleep. It has been a huge blessing to us recently because you've been jumping on my calls early in the morning. So Tuesday through Friday, I'm up at 4 o'clock. Either, I'm on a call. Whether that's a Bible study call that I'm hosting or whether that's an entrepreneur call that I'm hosting, and you're there with me now. You used to wake up a little bit later, like maybe 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock, so you could read and then go to work. But now we're waking up at the exact same time. And I think one of the things that's so important about that is it gives us the same bandwidth for the day. Because if we don't go to bed at the same time, that really starts to screw everything up. Because if I go to bed later and then I wake up later, that means that you're going to be tired earlier. And we're going to be eventually ships passing the night. Yeah. And in a busy season like we're in right now, yes, it's difficult. So hear us out when we say this. It's really hard because currently, like I get home on Mondays late from swimming at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And what are you doing? Sourdough.
I'm not finishing sourdough. I'm getting ready for bed for you to come home.
Yeah. And you could, if you weren't like, you could not do sourdough that night. Yeah. And you could go to bed early, but that would mess up kind of the trajectory of where we are. And so having that start point and end point has been really powerful. And I think it's actually helped us to grow together, closer together, which I think has been better. Right.
Right. Exactly. And it also just encourages us to encourage one another to start the day off right and wake up together. It's easier to do it with somebody.
That is true. When she wakes up, it's a lot easier for me to keep on going. So what's number 3? So number 1, go to bed together. Number 2, wake up together. Number 3,
we eat together.
Ooh, I like food.
Yes.
Why is it so important? Why should we eat together?
So it's interesting, like eat together. I think of like, oh, well, you're just going to eat real quick so you can get on to the next thing. Whether you are married and don't have kids, or you do have kids, or you're running off to work, or you're feeding kids. It's just this opportunity to come together and share in multiple things like conversation or just dietary encouragement with each other of, okay, we're going to eat this. We're not going to eat this. We're making a meal together and going through that process.
Yeah, well, it's breaking bread together. And it's so important to break bread with one another. And I think the other thing, too, is when we're sitting down and we're having a meal together, it also encourages good eating habits. Before we were married, I was not a good, I was a good eater. Don't get me wrong. I was just eating all the wrong stuff. Pizza, hamburgers, Taco Bell, McDonald's, all the things. I was fat. Don't go look at some pictures. I take that back. But one of the things when we eat together, we kind of almost plan our meals out a lot better. We eat better together. Like, and not only that, but we obviously schedules can't always make it so that like you're both at work and you're different parts of the town. You can't have lunch together, but you can at least start the day. You could both wake up at the same time and have breakfast. You could both, have dinner together, whether that's you could go out to eat and have dinner, or you could have dinner at your house and cook together, which by the way, if you really want to test your marriage, go cook together. That's
very true.
I think we'll come back to that one in another episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Cliffhanger. But one of the things that's so important is making sure to eat together.
Yeah. And I just remember like when our schedules were so opposite, or like when I was working evenings, it does make it hard, but you can make it work. I mean, not all the time, like in that case.
Not like every single day, but
it is something to have on the top of your mind. Like when I was working, you brought me lunch one day, or food, whether it was lunch or dinner. I don't know. I can't remember, but
it's probably both.
Probably both, so that I wasn't just drinking like Ensures, so I didn't die. But anyways, I just think that even that is just showing your love in a way of bringing a meal too, which is, an additional conversation, even if it is short and quick and you don't have like a specific time.
Yeah. Well, and what's kind of fun is I haven't done this in a long time. It was right when like Apple was doing like I'd finally given up on Android. I'm sorry, I became an Apple person. Don't unfollow me, or unfollow me. I don't care, whatever. So we switched over to all of our devices being Apple, and so we could track each other. It was like right when Apple was doing like, hey, figure out where your other phone is or whatever. And I don't know if you remember this, but I was like, hey, you go and have coffee, just hang out, like have a good time. I'm gonna go do some work and whatnot. And you went to a coffee shop. You didn't tell me where you were going. It was at a Starbucks. I remember this because I looked you up on the phone, and then I snuck in, and I was like, hey. And you're like, oh my God, where'd you come from? Have fun with it.
Oh
surprise your spouse. Surprise them with a, surprise lunch. Or, do a surprise meal or dinner. Like it can be so great to share and break bread with one another, which kind of leads me to the next one. What's the next one?
Clean together.
Oh boy. You know who you are, the one that is not cleaning. I'm not looking at you, Willow.
Hey.
Do you clean together? I mean, kind of what we were talking about last week. Was it last? Maybe it was a couple times ago of like Willow with the duster. And, and I had the vacuum, and we're not talking necessarily like holding
like
hands
date.
While you're cleaning.
Clean date.
But cleaning together is so healthy for a marriage because sometimes it feels like you're the only one doing things. Yeah. Like when we're both cleaning the kitchen, you see me doing the dishes. I see you picking up the dishes and wiping off the counters, doing the trash. It bonds us together that we're both accomplishing a task together.
Yeah.
And it's so healthy for us as a married couple. And there are things that I don't enjoy and that I'm not good at when it comes to cleaning. And there are things that you're really good.
Yeah.
So when we do them together, I feel like it lightens the load.
Exactly. It's like we're both contributing together. And that's nowhere, like we don't want to keep score. That's definitely not healthy, because when you do that, that's like where things go bad. And that's kind of why it's good to do it together, so that there's no frustration like, oh, I'm doing all of the laundry, or I'm cleaning all of this, all of the bathrooms, or you clean all the bathrooms, or take out the trash all the time. Or it's just good to kind of help each other out, and you can see we're both working on things. That there's no, frustrations of I'm doing it all and he's not doing anything. Yeah. Which has happened before when.
Yeah. When did that happen?
Well, when a lot before. When you were doing everything. Yeah. You were doing everything and I wasn't doing anything.
Which is always funny because people think it's the opposite.
I know.
Like, I don't do anything and Willow does everything. Wow, Willow's so amazing. I'm like, I'm cleaning things too. Don't forget about me.
Like, actually, I don't think I ever cleaned that. Nathan cleaned that.
Toilets.
Yeah.
Sinks. You just sink sometimes. But I mean, not when you're pregnant. That's another thing. Anyway, we're getting off base. So we have going to bed together. We got waking together. We got eating together. We got cleaning together. I think this next one is a really important one. talking together.
Yes.
There have been so many, I mean, I communicate for a living, all right? Because I spend a lot of my day either now with rugrats, small children, or I spend my day with other people. I'm coaching people, or I'm on calls with people, or I'm going and I'm speaking somewhere. And I come home, and what happens?
Then I want to talk. I want to know all the things.
I want to know all the things. What'd you guys talk about? What'd you do? Now, there's obviously we've had to go through the whole thing of like there's client
confidentiality
that I don't share things with you about clients and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there was a point within our marriage where you said to me, I feel like at the end of the day, I'm getting the scraps of conversation.
Yeah. I think it doesn't get noticed right away until it's like, oh, I'm really like lacking those deep conversations or conversations that aren't just topical, like, oh, how was your day? But like the conversations that you actually discuss things. And then it's like, I realized, oh, you are talking to all these other people. And so either you're burnt out by the time I come around, or you've already had all those conversations and it's just like,
I've got nothing left.
Yeah.
I'm empty.
You're not even, it's almost like, is it like it's a second thought? I don't know if it was like not even registering as a like, oh yeah, you need that. Or like my thing was, oh, I wasn't getting fulfilled in deep conversation because you've already had that. And my assumption was, oh, well, you don't want to talk to me.
Yeah. Which is huge. Communication is so big in marriage, right?
Yeah.
It's the number one topic within marriage. Everyone knows that you need to communicate, yet so few people actually communicate well. What's really interesting is the perception of what I do. Because when it comes to coaching, like your perception usually when I'm coaching someone is I'm pouring out my heart to someone. I'm like, oh, this is what's going on in my life, and that's not what's happening at all. It's exactly the opposite. The other person's pouring out their heart to me, and I'm going, well, how can we move forward with that? What do you want to happen from this? What are some things that we could do to maybe get this outcome that you want? And it's way less of me doing anything or talking. And it's way more question asking. So by the end of the day, like I would love to have conversations with you, but there was a perception there for her. And so as a married couple, you have to have good conversation. You have to chisel out some time where you can actually talk and communicate. It's so important because it really is the crux of a great relationship.
Yeah.
So communication is another huge one. Taking time to talk together will give you a better marriage together. What else? Number 8?
Number 6.
Whatever.
Number 6. Money together.
Oh, yeah. This is a big one.
This is a tension for a lot of people. But I guess I remember when we first got married, it was kind of like, I just thought it was, oh, yeah. That was just the standard of you get married and you combine all your bank accounts.
Not
but
anymore.
I guess that's not like what everybody does.
A lot of people. Well, and why do you think that? I'm curious. Why do you think people don't combine their bank accounts?
Well, I think there's a couple of reasons, but I think they want to make sure they have like something set aside, like either they're contributing to or they have something in case something happens.
Yeah, I think the majority of people, it's the second one.
Yeah.
I think the majority of people, like when we get into marriage, we're like, okay, I got to set a little bit of money aside just in case this person cheats on me, or like I need to get away from them somehow. I find out who they really are.
No.
I think honestly, we're not 100% committed.
Yeah.
When our bank accounts aren't the same. And it's funny because we've had our bank account, like our bank accounts were combined like the day we were married.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, we really have no money. I thought you had money coming to this. I thought you had money coming to this. We're poor.
Oh, geez. No, I think it's really good to know. Well, I mean, then you know exactly what you guys have together.
I knew all of her student loans coming into this
secrets.
puppy. Yeah. Well, but that's another thing too. So not just bank accounts, but credit cards.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a secret credit card on the side? Can I just encourage you to go and cut that thing up?
Yeah.
Pay it off and cancel that thing. We have had the same credit card account with the exception of my business card because you're not on the business account yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll change here as this continues to grow.
But I have access to it.
But you have access to it. She can see it. She has the logins to it, which we could talk about that, of having the login access to your spouse's phone. That's another one too. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, Willow's like, hey, can I get something on your phone? And like, she's got the facial ID tracking on my phone. Like, oh, look, Willow unlocks my phone. My face unlocks her phone. Oh, great. Now someone's going to kidnap one of us. And, oh, I'm going to find out all of Nathan's secrets. All 2 of them. I don't know.
No, I think the secrets there is a big thing. Or like, it just can go wrong very quickly. Like, oh, I want to have a credit card so I can buy you gifts, but then it's
gifts.
Secretive. I mean, it always leads to a little bit more.
And there's always a little bit of a feeling of deception too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also annoying for you because every time you try to buy me a Christmas gift, I know.
Yeah, but I have like...
We have rules like around Christmas. Yeah. Like I think within 3 weeks of Christmas, we're not allowed to look at the credit card.
Like, don't look for one. That's why, sometimes I like can never surprise him because like he's checking.
You've done it once. I think you've done it once out of the last 11 years, and it was. Remember, even the one that you paid, you paid with a check to someone.
Yes,
and I still figured it out.
I know.
It was horrible.
I did checks. But it's okay because you know what? It's not worth it to
have that little secret.
Other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's huge. So. Money's a huge thing, which, by the way, all of these things are all negotiable. Like, it's up to you. But it is something that we want to encourage, that you should have this conversation with your spouse. Yeah. Like, these are things, the more that you can do these things together, the better your marriage is going to be.
Yeah. All these things are like, I love how you said that, the better your marriage is going to be, because it is just adding that extra kind of enforcement to get to do things together.
My brain's just stuck on the fact that I was saying together instead of together.
I didn't even...
And things are better together. Feel like I'm Italian. Oh. That's not right. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, what are we on? We're on number
7.
Number 7 is working out together. Go pump some weight and see how weak the other person is.
It's being able to have fun together and do things together physically.
Yeah. Physical stuff out of the bedroom.
And like anything. Like, you both don't have to be the best soccer players. Like, we go for walks right now.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we've gone and played basketball and you're a horrible basketball. You can't even get the ball.
I can't play. I can't even shoot the hoop. I tried to go swimming with you.
Yeah, you did.
So it's just about.
Well, and even right now, like, it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be playing a sport or going to the gym. Like, we go on walks as a family.
Yeah.
Like, and that is super healthy. Like, it's so good for us to get out as a family and to walk and move together. So are you doing that together? Couples that work out together, they get buff together and they, I don't know, do other things together.
Yeah. I guess I
love the horrified face that you have right now. If you're listening to the audio, make sure you go and watch this section so you can see the horrified look on Willow's face when I said other things together. All right, number 7, working out together. Moving on, because we don't have much time. Technically, we have like 20 seconds.
We'll list these all.
We're going to go longer. Sorry.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Church together.
Oh, that's an important one.
Yes.
Why do we say that? Do you know why we say that? I had a fly.
There's
Sorry.
A fly.
Chi-chi flies. There's so many chi-chi flies in our house. Remember I was telling you guys about that? I was telling you what we could do about like the chi-chi fly thing. It's working. We're catching like 100 chi-chi flies a day, but they're still coming from somewhere. I don't know. There's some secret banana stash.
There's a banana peel somewhere in this
house.
There's
a secret banana stash in our house. So if you have a dog that smells bananas, or maybe kids are good at smelling out bananas.
Get our 2-year-old. Yeah. He'll find all the bananas.
He likes bananas. Anyway, church. So church together makes our marriage better together. And the reason I say that is we've known people that, like, they go to church together sometimes. And then there's other times where they don't go to church together as a family. Like, he'll go to church at this time and she'll go to church at this time. Or one of them will go to church and the other one doesn't go to church. He'll go golfing and she goes to church. Or she goes to, I don't know, what do girls do on Sunday mornings when they're not going to church?
I don't know.
Mimosas?
Yes.
Mimosas with the girls. I don't know. Willow doesn't do that. But it is so important for us to go together to be fed by someone preaching the word. And also being in community. That's where we've been able to find other couples too, is it's hard when you go to church and you meet people like couples, and then you finally get together, like meeting together as like spouses. And it kind of feels awkward because your spouse wasn't there the first 5 times that you met the person and their spouse. So I think it really is important for us to go to church together.
Yeah.
And making the commitment. Like if one of you has to work late and you have Saturday church, and that's what you normally do, then go the next morning. Like make sacrifices to do things together.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of leads us into the next point.
Number 9.
Number 9 is word together. So
word, what up, dog?
Reading the word together.
Oh, that kind of word. People still talk like that?
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know because I'm not cool enough.
Reading the word together. Super important.
Yeah.
I don't think we read the well. We do. We've read the word since we were before we were married. That was one of the things of like we need to read the word together and we need to study it together.
Yeah,
it's just been huge. That has been probably one of the greatest catalysts in our marriage, especially for arguments. And fights, because when one of us is in the wrong and we're reading, 9 times out of 10 that comes up in our reading of being angry or forgiving the other person. And the person that's supposed to be forgiving is looking at the other one. Am I, do I have to?
Yeah. And it also just gives that it's reading together, growing together constantly.
Yeah. And if you don't, and if you don't read the Bible, reading the same book together can be really powerful. Reading the same devotional, we've done devotionals together where we've studied those, and that can be a really great thing. So here's when we say this: reading together is powerful, but there is another level when you start reading the Word of God together. Oh, crack open a Bible, read together, have your own versions of your Bibles that you read, and then just read together and then talk about it. You don't have to read out loud necessarily, but read it and then talk about it.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yep.
Last one, number 10.
Number 10, almost maybe the best one, not the best one, most important.
I don't know. I like going to bed together because that usually leads to some hanky-panky.
Number 10, praying together.
she's moving on from that one. Number 10, praying together. Huge. I think praying together, a lot of couples don't do. I don't think a lot of people pray nowadays. I'm just going to say it. I think we say that we pray, but we don't actually pray.
Huh.
But I think we need to pray together. It's good to pray for your spouse.
Well, I remember when we were first married and some other couples that we knew were talking about praying together, and I was like, I don't know how to pray. Or like, I'm not sure what to say because I was early in my faith journey at that point. But I think that it just has changed our marriage so much once we started to pray together and but yes, for one another on our own too, but together it just changes things.
Well, and remembering what prayer does, prayer doesn't change the other person. So when I'm praying for Willow, I'm not like, Lord, would you make her nicer to me? Lord, would she speak nice things to me? Lord, would you, don't be like, Lord, would you make him handsome or maybe lose his gut? I don't know. The prayer for us over one another and together should be an encouragement that it changes our heart towards one another. Yeah. So when I'm praying for Willow, it's not a Lord, would she do this? It's Lord, would you help me to love my wife better? Lord, would you help me to recognize her gifts? Would you help me to speak into her life and be an encouragement today? That's a challenge for my heart. It's not a challenge for her heart. So hopefully you hear that. Hopefully you're able to walk away from this. I almost said a call, this time together where we're just talking about what we're learning, what we're going through. And one of the things that we've found is the more things we do together, the better our marriage is, the stronger our marriage is, the better a marriage.
Better together.
The better together.
More butter.
We're better. You're butter. You're better, whatever. Okay, whatever.
So better together.
Okay, so what are the top 10 things?
Top 10 things to be better together. Bed together.
Bed together. Wake together.
Eat together.
Clean together.
Talk together.
Money together. That's a good one.
Work out together.
Work out together. Church together. Word together. Word to your mother. Sorry, I couldn't.
And pray together.
And pray together. All right. Well, that is way over the time that we said we were going to do. I think we're 6 minutes over. I'm so sorry. It's Willow's fault. you can blame her.
It's the chi-chi flies.
It's the chi-chi flies.
And the bananas.
And the bananas and all kinds of monkeys. We're probably going to get weird monkeys that are coming through our house. I don't know. We hope that you laughed. We hope that this encouraged you. We hope that you walk away stronger as married folk. I said folk again.
And it's going to be around.
It's going to be around. But until next time, remember to be more,
see more,
and experience more together.